Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Let's jump right into today's video. Sony announced that the PS5 will support backwards compatibility and run existing PS4 games.
PlayStation 5 GPU is backwards compatible with PlayStation 4.
The reason backwards compatibility is much feasible this time around is because both the PS4 and PS5 share similar architectures. Mark Cerny, chief architect of the PS5, said,
"We recently took a look at the top 100 PlayStation 4 titles as ranked by playtime, and we're expecting almost all of them to be playable at launch on PlayStation 5.
Despite only referencing the top 100 games, I think it's safe to assume that the PS5 will be able to run all major PS4 games, and Sony not outright saying that the PS5 can run every PS4 game is just Sony protecting themselves. The reason I'm optimistic here is because it's in line with their decision to enforce forwards compatibility on upcoming PS4 games, which is, I don't know, I feel like it's unheard of on consoles, but I might be wrong. In any case, it means that publishers and developers releasing games on the PS4 must also ensure it'll be playable on the PS5. If I'm reading this right, here's why this is such a big deal. Let's say you're still enjoying the gaming experience on your PS4. Forwards compatibility removes the pressure for you to upgrade to the PS5 right away. Buy your PS4 games, and when you finally get a PS5, your games still work. There's no need to repurchase a PS5 edition of the same games. If so, that's actually a huge step on pro-consumerism on Sony's part. Kudos. You know, as a kid, I loved gaming on my PS1 and PS2. Back then, I felt like there were more reasons to play on a console than a PC. But my biggest reasons I essentially boiled down to horrible internet speed, and Steam didn't exist yet. So yeah. I moved on from console gaming because games weren't designed to be backwards or forwards compatible. Despite initially having backwards compatibility on early models, my PS2 Slim, being a more capable machine, wouldn't support any of my PS1 games. And I found out soon after that the same thing happened to later PS3 Slim models. I admit that this was a bigger issue back then. This was a time where physical discs were still a thing. Once a game stopped production, you might never get a hold of a copy again. If not for emulation, many of these games would be lost. It's very unlikely we'll ever see a digital release for some of these games because the studio or publisher didn't survive the console generation. While losing games to generational shifts is not a problem anymore thanks to digital copies and the growing popularity of PC gaming, that doesn't mean backwards compatibility is irrelevant. On the contrary, I believe it's essential if consoles plan to stick around. For one, it prevents game publishers from double dipping. If you're unfamiliar with the term, it's when a publisher tries to sell you the same game twice. As an example, let's say you bought a game on the PS4. To play that same game on the PC, you'll need to buy it again for the PC. That publisher just sold you the same game twice. Here's a more sinister take on double dipping. Imagine buying a game on Steam for your PC. What if I had to repurchase my whole Steam library because I bought a better PC? That would be insane, and I believe it should be the same thing for PlayStation games. Here's the point I'm trying to make. If you've made the purchase, it doesn't matter which Sony PlayStation you have. If it's capable of running it, then you should be allowed to play it. Alright, so that's the end of my video. I'm hoping to hit 1,000 subs by the end of 2020. So if you like these videos and want to support me, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay notified. Thanks again. Appreciate you guys.